and welcome back to another Remembering Forgotten Memories video, or Throwback Thursday, Flashback Friday. I don't have a catchy Saturday one, even though it's going up Saturday, even though it's meant for Thursday, but whatever, it don't matter. Anyway, so this one, I completely forgot was even a thing that ever happened until my sister was, we had this weird conversation that was all over the place yesterday, but she was telling me about this weird time in a parking lot that, like, how it came up was she talking about, like, the crime levels of, like, literally, despite how many security guards are there, this one part of this parking lot in this one shopping center always gets hit. Like, every time she's ever been there, there's always people that have their windows smashed in their cars. Every dang time. And yet, one day that she went in, got food, and came out to her car just to eat her lunch in her car before going on about her day, security guard walked up, plopped down with a chair right next to her driver's side door, and just chilled there, keeping an eye on her, even though she was doing nothing but eating her freaking lunch. And by the time she finished her lunch and put her key in her ignition, like, to go, the security guard, like, walkie-talkied something in and then left. It's like, what the hell was that? But okay, because she had that, it, like, triggered off this other memory I had of a thing that involved eating alone in public. But okay, mine is nothing like that. Mine does not involve a cop, security guard, anything like that. It is not like that kind of a story. But basically, have you ever had that feeling where, like, if you see a person eating alone in a restaurant, you think, oh, how sad, they look so lonely? I never got that that was a thing people think, because in my brain, people gotta eat, and they're not always with people when they need to eat. Therefore, logical conclusion, they're going to just go somewhere and get their food and eat. It doesn't mean they're sad. It doesn't mean they're lonely. It means they want to eat. Like I said, it was never a thing that ever crossed my mind, and I used to do it all the damn time. I was telling Kimberly about that. She's like, when would you have ever been alone to eat? I'm like, I used to, like, walk down to the boulevard all the damn time and get food on my own. I used to go down there all the time, start walking in the morning, because honestly, this is a long-ass walk. It is, like, round trip, like, 6 or 7 miles. With large hills involved. It is not a cutesy little stroll. No, I'm in California, where it's all hills all the time. So, anyway, without a car, pretty much if no one's willing to bring me somewhere, I gotta walk it. So, at this point in time, at my age, being almost 40, it's not nearly so practical. I don't even know that I am physically capable of doing that same walk anymore. But, once upon a time, I had to explain to her, I used to be fit enough to do this, and actually did it pretty regularly. Would, like, cruise down to, like, the music store, buy guitar picks, guitar strings, sheet music, whatever. Usually get lunch while I was out, go home. There was also the library. There's also, used to be a bookstore, used to be a toy store, used to be, like, an actual music store you could, like, buy CDs that was, like, down in that shopping area. Used to be all kinds of shit down there that I used to just, like, go walk and kind of make a day of it, because it took so damn much time to walk down there and to walk back. This was always an all-day endeavor for me if I did this. I could start in the morning, do my stuff, and it would probably be like 6 p.m. by the time I got home. Anyway, and she's like, bullshit, you have never walked that far in your life. I'm like, oh no? Oh really? Because Mom will corroborate that, yes, I very much fucking did. So, and I pulled her into it to confirm that, yes, I did. But anyway, so I'm telling her this one time that, like, all of a sudden got, like, the weirdest memory that her story had triggered off, that I was trying to lead into and having to give the backstory of that, too. It was, like, the weirdest circumstances thinking about it now, but in the moment, it felt perfectly normal to me. I saw nothing abnormal about this at all. My dad thought I was on freaking drugs, but I was not. But, like, it was literally raining out, and I decided, in my heart of hearts, I needed one of those, specifically that big-ass Wendy's Mandarin chicken salad. Don't know why. Had, like, a boner for it. Like, at that age, I had them all the time and freaking loved them. It was when I was still nannying for that one kid, like, most days of the week, and pretty much whenever the mom would ask me what I wanted for lunch, she was going out to pick it up, that was always my answer, so I got really used to having them, like, all the dang time. So there being, like, a little bit of a dry patch in there where she didn't need me to watch her kid, I was like, I really want one of those freaking salads. And Dad won't bring me, so I guess I'm gonna walk. I still to this day even remember, like, the weird coat that I wore in the rain. Like, again, in hindsight, I can kind of see why somebody would assume I was on drugs. It was, like, specifically this faux fur leopard print coat. Tall, knee-high boots. A little black newsboy cap. I mean, honestly, kind of surprised nobody was assuming I was a hooker, but honestly, like, regardless, brought a bag with me, and a book, and I went walking all the way down there. Honestly, like, I figured it's rain, it's kind of cold, I mean, it's water. Ooh, wow, like, yeah, my hair will frizz. Ooh, terrible. Like, I don't care. It's water. It's not gonna hurt me. So, freaking go walk down there. And I eventually make my way to Wendy's. Took me way longer to get down there in the rain than it normally would on a sunny day, but doesn't matter. I get down there. I order my salad. I go sit in one of the tables right next to the window, and honestly, I've got my salad. I'm in my happy place. The water, like, from the rain tapping on the window. Very soothing to me. I love the sound of rain. I don't exactly like the reality of rain because I have seasonal affective disorder and it kind of screws with me, but I mean, I love the sound of rain. Hell, even kind of the aesthetic of rain. It doesn't bother me. So, I'm just sitting there, I'm chilling, reading my book, eating my salad, minding my own business. There's like hardly even anyone in there that day, probably because it's freaking raining out and no one wants to be out in the nastiness, but I was, and at least a couple other people were too. So I'm minding my business, completely oblivious to whatever the hell's going on around me, and suddenly this dude walks up to me, just like taps me on the shoulder, "Excuse me, miss?" "Yeah?" "Do you have depression?" I'm sorry, like, what? That is like... Of all the things you could come up to a random stranger who is just chilling, reading a book while they eat their lunch in a restaurant. Of all the things you could have asked, like, no lead-in or anything, just, do you have depression? What? I mean, technically, yeah, but I mean, I'm not sad right now. I feel fine. I'm good. No issue. I'm just reading a book and eating my lunch. Why? "Oh, okay. I just want to make sure you're okay." And walked back to his table and, like, finished eating his food and left. And I'm sitting there like, what the fuck was that? Like, what the fuck was that? And it, like, didn't even cross my mind at that point in time. Like I said, that people have this assumption about people dining alone that they must be sad or depressed or lonely or whatever. I'm like, it just, again, never once crossed my mind as a thing that people think, because it was such a normal thing to me as a loner that, yeah, typically I'm by myself, so if I'm by myself and I need to eat some food, I'm just gonna do it. I'm not gonna stress about, oh, but I can't go get food because somebody might think I'm sad. Like, what? That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. Like, and I was just, like, almost laughing to myself over this, which probably made me look more crazy in hindsight, but, like, okay, that was weird, but alright. Like, kind of looked over my shoulder a couple times, like, this isn't, like, a stranger danger situation, right? No, like, the dude finished his food and left, and that was it, like, and the whole way home, I'm just like, what the fuck? Like, just trying to, like, rationalize this in my head of, what does that even mean? Like, because it just did not compute. And I mentioned it to my mom when I got home, and she explained this assumption that people have, and I was like, well, I think you're just being judgy because that sounds stupid. No one thinks that. You might think that. No one thinks that. So I mentioned it to a few online friends, and all of them came to that same conclusion. I'm like, really? This is a thing? Like, I know I'm autistic, but, like, this is a thing? I've never, ever heard that in my life, that that's a thing. And ever since that day, I've kind of, as much as I'm like, that's so stupid, I've also kind of ever since had a little bit of a hang-up about it. It's just like, I hate that I have a hang-up about it now. It doesn't entirely stop me from doing it, but at the same time, it's like, I feel weird about it now, whereas I didn't used to give it a second thought. Now I'm hella self-conscious about it. It's like, well, gee, thanks. You just ruined what used to be like a really chill experience for me. Fuck. Like, what the hell is that? It's just, but of all the ways to word it, and when I told this story to Kimberly, she's like, maybe that guy was autistic or something too, and like he was just concerned and didn't have like the social norms or whatever to really like word it better than that. I guess maybe like I don't know. I'm like, in hindsight, that's such a weird fucking thing. And she told me, maybe I could take a lesson from that play because I need to learn to be able to be okay with sitting alone. Because all through college, if there was somebody I even vaguely recognized from anywhere from like high school or anything, I would kind of just crash their table so I wouldn't be seen alone. And most of these were guys, so they were probably getting really weird mixed messages. I'm like, yeah, they probably were, honestly. But that's so weird. That's so weird to me. Like, is this truly like, to this day, I'm still kind of skeptical about it, but I have heard more mentions of things like that too over the years where I'm like, oh my god, I think that actually is a thing that people think. Should I care about that? Like, I feel like logically I shouldn't, but on the other hand, like, now that the idea has been placed in my head, how do I not care about that now? Like, gee, thanks. I could have lived my life quite happily without ever giving it another thought ever, but cool, alright. Cool. But yeah, that's my story. It's short and stupid, but it is what it is, so anyway. Yeah, that's all. So, I thought I was going to be telling you guys a different story this week, but then I was reminded of that yesterday. I was like, well, actually, you know what? While it's still fresh in my mind, I'll just retell this one. So, anyway. That's it. So, as usual, you know what to do. If you like this video, go ahead and give it a like. If you're not already and you'd like to be, click subscribe, hit that notification bell icon so you never miss an upload, leave comments down below. Make sure you're following my social media accounts, my Facebook fan page, my Twitter, my Instagram, my eBay, my Reddits, everything and more is held down below. And if you like what I do here on this channel and you'd like to help support it, the donation link, as always, is down in the description. Anyway, guys, till next time, see ya.